Hi, I'm Cherie.
I'm Kelvin. Master Small Business Podcast
by Mentalist Media.
If you didn't know, we have show notes, so I'm just going to read this question. What are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen people starting a business make? That's a question.
Yes.
I don't know about biggest mistakes, but I know I've seen a bunch of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is trying to have the world or give the world, and you haven't even basically done nothing for your business. I'm going to have this business. I'm going to have my logo, going to have a name, going to have a building, going to have nice signs, a website fully functioning, doing everything.
Haven't sold one thing.
I'm going to have all this equipment, right? And if you have millions and millions of dollars and some backers and stuff, then that may be possible. But most of us, that's not happening.
Right. You're doing all this upfront, spending money, and you haven't sold one thing.
Right.
Hadn't made a cent.
Not a cent.
Another one of the biggest mistakes I think that I've seen people make is generally not knowing what it costs to produce whatever it is they're trying to do.
Right.
You know, they go into it and they say, oh, I'm going to make, I don't know, pies. I'll have a business making pies, and they don't know how much the flour costs. And
right.
We talk in detail, actually, in our case study that we did with Juicy Jar and Chloe about, you know, some of these pricing questions and issues when you have a business where maybe you're making things.
Exactly. You can't go in and say, hey, I make hats, and then say my hats are going to cost $12. How do you even know that? You know, and another thing is buying stuff from retail. Mm-hmm. That's a really big thing.
Huge
in
mistake.
Some cases, you may have to, but in a lot of the cases, you do not have to. It's a lot of different places, especially online, that you can find where you can sort of buy things from sort of distributors and stuff, you know. So you don't have to go to Walmart and buy stuff, you know.
Right.
Because from retail, they are adding their markups to it, right? Mm-hmm. So you're actually spending more, which is going to decrease your profits.
Right.
Because you're spending more on the materials you're using.
Well, and at least if you find yourself where you do need to go to someplace that's like a local store that you walk into, let it be a Sam's or a Costco, because at least you can get some type of volume discount that you're usually not going to get if you just go to Target or wherever.
Yeah. Yep.
So, other big mistakes. Any other ones you can think of?
Off top,
bad graphics. We talk about that. We have a whole show about that. So go find that show about bad graphics.
Yes, bad graphics, bad audio, bad voicemail. So, you know, someone calls your business and it doesn't sound all that professional, you know, with whoever picks it up or when I reach you after hours. Another thing, no online presence at all.
Yeah.
You have a physical location. I can't find you on Google. I can't Google you to find you anywhere, social media, nowhere.
Right.
Nothing.
When I Google you, I want that whole first page to be everything that's something you control, like your website, like your Facebook page or LinkedIn or whatever it is. Fill that whole first page up with stuff that is all you and stuff that you control.
And it's going to take time, but you can do it.
Yep.
You just have to slowly put out stuff and get listed and whatever else you do in your industry. But you need online presence.
Right. And if you have more money than you have time, then you can pay somebody to do it for you, like Mentalist Media.
Right. We also had a show about why you need a real computer.
Yes.
And you need a real computer to, you know, I don't know how people have a business and don't have an actual computer. You know, maybe you need to type up documents, letterheads, a whole slew of things you should be doing on an actual computer. Calculations. I don't care about no calculators. I don't care about a calculator on your phone.
But in 2017, you should have an actual computer, period. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's a mistake if you don't.
Yeah, so huge mistake. It's like really one of the biggest.
Another one of the biggest things is just generally people who are starting out looking amateurish. I think there's a way to start out with not a lot of money, but still look professional. One of the things that I think we've been lucky and also skillful at is being able to give the appearance of being much further along than we are at any given time because of the fact that all of our stuff looks good.
Yes.
You know, we're not, you are not going to find handwritten things, stuff that just generally looks like it's homemade, unless homemade is your brand.
Yeah. And that goes back to having a computer, right? Computer, you can type something and print it and cut it out and tape it to something, right?
Yes. And that's always going to look better than handwritten.
Yeah.
You know, we're not saying spend a lot of money. We're just saying, think about how you would look at this sign or how you would look at whatever it is you're presenting if you were the customer, and what would you think about that business?
Right. And another thing is half stepping with everything that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it goes back to like with your graphics and everything. Your graphics look whack. Your signs look whack. Everything about it just seems like you don't really care about the presentation. You don't care about your customer's experience. You just want to be able to extract money from them.
Right.
You know?
And that's not good enough.
Yeah. You know, I go to a restaurant or something and they have like line out the door and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But your building looks like trash. The inside of your restaurant looks just horrible.
The floors look dirty.
What are you doing with my money that I'm possibly going to give you?
Mm-hmm. Nothing but fixing some food, and who knows what the kitchen looks like.
Yeah, and maybe it's just mismanaged, but that's part of half stepping, where you don't have to have a line out the door, and you could be expanding this location or to another location.
And I think that maybe one of the last ones is just generally not recognizing your shortcomings.
Right.
Or where you're not an expert. Look, if you're not an expert or have never designed any type of graphic, then I don't think your business is where you should be trying to, do trial and error. Yeah.
Or, when you're doing business to business and then you're trying to instruct the other business that has the expertise in the service or the product that you're getting, instructing them on how to do it,
Right.
So, like if I go to Ford and I'm like, well, just make the windshield at this height, I don't want a big, wide or tall windshield, when they are pretty much the experts on all of the laws and everything concerning that, plus also designing cars, like
right, aerodynamics and everything else involved, physics, Yeah. So yeah, I think you should learn to trust other people's expertise.
Yeah, and other people will trust your expertise.
Right.
So there you have it, some of the biggest mistakes, and maybe we'll call this part 1, and in the future, and starting now, we'll keep a list of these things, and then we'll just tell you about mistakes and terrible things we see
from time to time
interacting with businesses.